Hallo mense, Nancy, good evening, Siyabonga, Ali goeie dinge. How is everybody doing? Thank you for tuning into my live stream with you, the audience. How's everyone been keeping? I see hello in the comment section to everyone already kind of tuned in and waiting. Wolfhund and Bradley had a Lionel Richie moment. I see Kyle, hello, Biker Chick. Keith, Gentle Inflatables, goeienaand, good evening. Sven, Alan, Mr. Punisher, Daniel, Anton, Chris Marie, Henry, Dylan, Mark, Conrad, and Old Tighthead. So we have a very, and Yokkels. We have a very full, proper roster of people. Tune in. This is basically just hello, Dar, because I haven't actually had a chance to sit down with you good folks. Fires and Will, good evening, and Herman, just to catch up a little bit and find out what's been going on in the world of everybody else. I've had two videos that I was quite happy with that came out this week on the channel. The one was about the defensive gun uses, and the other one was, crikey, I can't even remember what that one was about. No, I can't remember what it was about. This is the level of Swiss cheeseness in my brain. Hello, Matthijs, Luke, and Meneer van Rensburg. Tomorrow is a fairly long video that's coming out. It's about my EDC and the fundamentals of everyday care and all that sort of stuff. So I'm hoping that one's useful and informative, and some people might get some value out of it. Anton is asking the difficult questions. The hoodies are awesome. They will be uploaded to the web store on Friday. It's the day after tomorrow. I'm ordering more for a simple reason. They're a little bit snug. So I wear a medium and it fits me nicely, but most people who wear mediums need larges. Most people who need larges need extra larges, and extra larges need 2XLs. So this is like insider tip, and I will make the sizing quite clear on these things. If you order one size up, just order a size up, and that's just going to make everyone's lives easier. But they're really cool. I'm super chuffed with them. I'm really happy with the quality. Couldn't be happier. It's my favorite thing to wear. It's my favorite hoodie to wear. And I have a few hoodies, and this is by far the best one. And that's not just because it has my brand on it. So allegedly, we should be able to buy cigarettes and alcohol again from the rumor mill is quite fierce, but some people say they're around about the 15th. So I'm hoping that's true. I'm hoping that restaurants can sell you wine with your dinner, because let's be honest, what point is there to preventing me or you or anyone else for that matter drinking wine with their food, their meal at night? I mean, that's not going to make you less COVID-y. All that does is it fucks up your dinner. It makes you have less enjoyment of your meal than you would otherwise have. So that makes absolutely zero sense to me. The sooner they sort this nonsense out, the sooner they make it legal again, the better. Falani, good evening. Welcome, sir. Thank you to the stream. I don't know if I've seen you here before, but welcome. Pule, good evening, sir. He of the legally armed grandmother. What an epic story. And I actually met Pule last Friday. He and a friend dropped into CHS Guns in Somerset West to come say hello. And awesome meeting you, dude. We are definitely going to go. We'll get to a shooting range somewhere. Got your 2XL reserved for you, King. That's the thing. I had to order a whole bunch of 2XLs, 3XLs, and more XLs, because otherwise I might not have enough. Because South African men, unlike me, most South African men are quite big, and not necessarily only in the pants department or what's in the pants department, actually physically big guys. So yeah, we don't want to leave you unsatisfied. I always try to leave people satisfied. That's what she said. Brian's not here to chirp in with that, so I have to laugh at my own jokes. How pathetic is that? Mark, finally, you got 3 firearm license cards delivered 3 months after approved. I'm so happy. I'm so glad to hear that. I am just appalled at the fact that it's taking the SAP so long to actually just perform basic administrative justice, which is bullshit. It should not be taking this long to get cards printed. Alan, you're a big man. Brian fits in a 3XL, and his shoulders are more of a broad. So You're taller than him, but you're a big guy. Fuck. We might have to make a special plan for Alan because Alan really is a big man. I don't know if any of you've met him, but Alan's a big, big, big guy. Sorry, where was Wolfund? He's still angry. I think we all are. I lost the context about what you're angry about, but in the current climate, it's probably something more of a legitimate. At the moment, my EDC is a 13-inch Bowie. That's a solid EDC, old tighthead. Like, I would not fuck with you, not with a Bowie knife, especially if you know how to use it, even less so. Be hopeful, but don't set yourself up for disappointment. Good advice. Issue with, I've got a very cynical friend, and they say, if you scratch the surface of any cynic deep enough, underneath you will find like a jaded idealist. But he genuinely said to me, hope is delayed disappointment, which I don't think is always true. But with Corona, with lockdown, with our government, yeah, it kind of is, because they keep falling in love with terrible ideas. Hello, Southern Metalhead, and hugs back to you, sir. Jacob from Louisiana, good evening. Thank you for tuning in. It's probably like 2 p.m. where you are at the moment. 145 days waiting for a card. I know, it's like about as long as lockdown, isn't it? No, almost as long as bloody lockdown. Yeah, that's just 2 years wait for licenses is just ridiculous. Drank en smokes ban het absoluut niks met COVID te doen nie. Dis die ANC wat net wys dat daar gemaak word soos hulle sê. Ja. Pretty much. It's got bugger all to do with the virus. It's got everything to do with political control about every aspect of private life. And yeah, okay, so just off to work in Louisiana where the rest of us are getting ready for bed. Mareike, goeienaand, u edele, Madam President. How are you doing? And I can't actually see who you are replying to, so we need to have words about what. I'm always in trouble. Another 4XL, okay. Lots of 4XLs coming in here. I didn't bargain on this, but there are, big guys, big oaks in this country. We can't, we can't go too small. But yeah, so ultimately, what is the point of banning cigarettes at all and tobacco products at all and buying lighter fluid? I mean, that's just ridiculous. And even worse, we're looking at the ban of crutches to help people get off tobacco addiction. So you can't buy vaping stuff and electronic cigarette equipment either. So you're basically just forcing people into withdrawal, which is absolutely ridiculous and highly dangerous. In probably the most stressful time in the 21st century and latter half of the 20th century, because this is really bad. Like the lockdown thing. I mean, I was having discussion with friends about this, and even if we return to normal tomorrow, there's such a cult and culture of fear instilled in people. Will people behave normally? I mean, there are people who don't want to give me handshakes, for goodness sake. I mean, and this is now the new normal. So I don't know. I'm not convinced. I think we've damaged people, not permanently, but to a very large degree, did huge damage to people. And I don't know how long it's going to take to recover from that. Steve Stifler, awesome surname. Good evening. Please forgive this ad nauseum. But to apply for my first license, do I go for section 13 or much past section 15? Okay. So I'm going to advise you to get 2 guns and license the first one, section 13. Simply put, you don't want to lie on your application. So if you intend to carry it for EDC, if that's your primary purpose, then license it for your primary purpose. That's why I've got a section 13. And then get exactly the same gun, because 2 of the same is better than 1 for many reasons, and license that one section 15 when you can afford to do so, when you have time to do so. Use both those slots for that purpose. And then use the second gun for sport shooting, training with it, put all the wear and tear on that, and it's your backup in case something happens. So it happens to my license. My wife shoots a guy while I'm not at home. As the law says, I must ensure my gun is not only used on. So this is a favorite scenario that people come up with, because it's not unrealistic. So give me a sec. And you have to ask yourself the question, right? She won't be in trouble. Strictly speaking, you will. But now, if she's phoning you, Okay, firstly and foremostly, if she finds your safe keys through no fault of your own, and she helps herself to your contents of your safe to defend herself with, what sort of retarded prosecutor and what sort of retarded judge is going to find either of you guilty of any sort of offense based on the fact that she, as a woman, defended herself against a violent and life-threatening attack against a potential rapist or murderer? Secondly, if she had you on the phone and said, "Honey, there are men breaking into my house into the house right now, and they're going to try and kill me," are you seriously going to say to her, like, is it reasonable to expect any man to tell his wife, "Well, listen, call the police and ADT, but I'm not going to tell you where the safe keys are, so because I don't want you to defend yourself with my gun, so you get into trouble"? This is how ridiculous this entire bullshit story is. That's how stupid this law is. That's how stupid all of this is. But ultimately, courts and prosecutors and judges and everyone has common sense, and they look at these on a case-by-case basis. So even though I'm not qualified to dispense legal advice, and even though you shouldn't take anything I say right now seriously, if you apply your mind a little bit, and this is a sort of question I'll ask Max Rosley when next I have him on the channel. He's going to be on CHS Guns' channel next week, Tuesday, for their Technical Tuesday. I recommend asking this question there as well. But ultimately, I don't see, to be honest, I don't see any meaningful problems there. Of course, they can make it a problem, but I don't see it as reasonable. My paperwork went in today. My paperwork went in today for Section 15. No, you shouldn't. You should be sorted in about 3 months. That's what they should do. Anton, we are definitely hitting the range soon, sir. And no, you shouldn't be. You should definitely not be waiting too long. And yeah, I'm not qualified to do a video on reloading equipment, but I'll find someone who is. Thank you, Jean-Pierre. I'm glad you like it. I really am glad you're satisfied with the product. Really, really, really. Mark Lottery. So that Stellenbosch protest today didn't go very far. It was clearly a political ploy. The people who were aggrieved were imported because the local Kayamandi population wanted nothing to do with it and had absolutely zero traction. It's a kind of desperate move to cause ructions where none exist. And it just flopped, which is beautiful. What's my take on the burner self-defense gun? I don't know enough about the burners. I've heard good things. I've heard less good things. I will do a bit of research on it, and I will get back to you, Mandy, because ultimately any defensive tool, I do recommend getting a firearm. Ultimately, there is nothing that can substitute with regards to lethal force projection and personal defense above a firearm. But there are other tools and other layers to your tool set and other devices that can be a temporary stopgap or even a situation resolver that are not firearms that are still worth looking into and still worth carrying and still worth applying. So I'm not going to shoot it down. I think if it's a decent product and if it's useful and if it's rational and logical, then yeah, then it definitely has a place. Can I ask for a paper printout of my approved competency certificate? They used to be on paper printouts. This is the funny part, right? My competencies are all still paper printouts, all of them. But now we're back onto printed cards for reasons that I don't understand. Doesn't really matter. It's all the same. But there is a thing going in the background, and apparently the state attorney is on board with it, that people should be allowed to use paper printouts from their police station as proof that their license exists to collect and carry their new firearms with their licenses, well, as a license until the card is printed. So stuff is happening. I've got a contact with Nicotine Vape. Also for a connection for Jack. Anton, I don't vape. If you can get me pipe tobacco, hang on, I'm just pouring some coffee. If you can get me pipe tobacco, we can talk. But if you want to swap alcohol for vape stuff, Roman might be your dude. But I don't know how useful a dude he's going to be because he doesn't drink. He drinks coffee, but he doesn't drink civilized things like alcohol. Ramon, if you're here, by the way, hello, good evening. I had a maskless gathering and hugged everybody. Awesome, Marika. Awesome stuff. You see, I have a. This is who you are promoting. You're promoting death, Marika. You just want people to die. Just want grandma to die and your cousins and everybody else through your selfish hugging. You just want everyone to die. I can't believe your renewal took 6 weeks to approve. That is like mine took like a year. Doesn't matter though, okay? As long as the renewal's in and you've got the receipt, your license just keeps ticking over and over and over until it's finalized. So Henry touches on it. 2 is 1 and 1 is none. 2 guns, 2 of the same guns. Definitely worth it. There we go. Navy SEAL says 2 is 1 and 1 is none. Exactly. This is am I this far behind in the comments again? Yeah, certainly looks like it. Certainly bloody looks like it. Excellent, Daniel. That's great news. I'm glad to see that more and more people are piling onto this bandwagon. Yeah, they're not being very good at this, are they? I mean, the entire thing is derailed so horribly, and the ANC's moves are just becoming more and more panicked. Is COVID-19 really that deadly? I think from what we've seen globally and locally, that no, it's not particularly deadly at all. It's slightly worse than influenza. It targets people with comorbidities quite heavily. So if you have the comorbidities, you're in trouble. If you don't have the comorbidities, you should be fine. You might get quite ill, but still. Susan, a lady after my own heart, asks a question that is so bloody relevant. And yes, get your significant other armed. And please don't tell her to get a 38 special revolver for several. Let me just go off on a tangent before I carry on asking you guys questions, because you ask really good questions and you make really good points. But I've got a huge thing against telling women to carry a 38 special revolver. Now, firstly, yeah, revolvers don't suffer the same malfunctions that semi-autos do. However, a semi-auto pistol's malfunction you can usually clear with a tap rack assess. Worst case, maybe changing the magazine. But when a revolver does jam, you can't fix it on the fly. When revolvers do jam, they jam to the extent that you need to take them apart with tools at a workbench to get them working again. Capacity matters. That's the second thing. Like, I'd rather take 10 to 15 to 17 shots out of a modern semi-auto and like deal with the reliability problems and the complicated nature of a striker-fired modern handgun and have 3 times the capacity of the revolver than the 5 rounds. And 38 Special is a terrible cartridge. Its terminal ballistic performance compared to 9mm Parabellum is terrible. They're more difficult to shoot, especially if they're double action only, and they're nasty. Yeah, they can conceal well, but they're not female friendly by any means. And then the other point is that there's nowhere in the Western Cape at present, or in Cape Town at least, we can even find 38 Special ammo. Nowhere. It's pretty much sold out. There's some hollow point stuff floating around at ridiculous prices, but 9 I can find. 38 Special, Cafe Land Mobile. Hi, Gideon. Cameron here. How's it, Cameron? I eventually got my card for my Section 60. I want to carry all the time. Will this be okay? It absolutely will be, sir. I carry Section 16 occasionally. Not a problem. Absolutely not a problem. The Act says you can use the firearm for any lawful purpose. That's it. So you're covered. Very good advice for reloading videos. The 480BC. 480BC are good people, by the way. Like, very, very cool gang. I've purchased things from them before. Totally worth it. Oh, goodness. I really am far behind with the commentary, as usual. Yeah, Denell is like Mango. It's a complete shit show, completely mismanaged. People aren't getting paid. It's just every single SOE, every single parastatal is just nosediving. Ultimately, this is where it was gonna go. It's just been accelerated now by lockdown, and there's no coming back from it. You're asking the wrong guy, Pule. Geez, like, you ask a difficult question sometimes. I can't remember which is the one that's a bit hazardous to carry, Makarov or Tokarev. Both are Russian guns. They come with idiosyncrasies. The interesting thing behind both of these guns are that they're not particularly built to the same degree of Western thinking when it comes to how guns work. I would not carry one myself. I wouldn't choose to carry one myself. They're interesting. They do work, and they are, like I said, they're interesting, very interesting handguns. Very interesting Eastern Bloc handguns, at least. Kakman, I can drive a scare bus. I'm sure you can drive. Oh, I can drive a scare bus. No, I can't. I'm not a scare bus driver. I'm a Boeing driver, Anton. I have opposable thumbs. I don't like an airplane that's smarter than me. The Glock 21. Let me Google. I only know the Glock 20. I think the Glock 21 is a subcompact. No, it's not. It's it's in 45 auto. Okay, so how deep are your pockets? The terminal ballistic difference between 45 ACP, 9mm Parabellum, and 40 Smith & Wesson is pretty narrow these days with modern handgun calibers. It's not a major difference. It's going to be a lot easier practicing and feeding and shooting that gun in 9mm, like a 17, for example, if you're going to go full-size service pistol, than getting one in 45. 45 is a great caliber, but you're going to have a high capacity with 9mm. You're going to find it easier to shoot. And like I said, you're going to find it cheaper to practice and train with it. If you really want to do like a big man's caliber and go completely off the charts, it's not necessarily a realistic carry option. I want a Glock 20, but that's for the sake of wanting it. That's in 10mm auto. That's a different gig altogether. 10mm is a serious handgun caliber. But yeah, I would, when it comes to Glocks, if I had to recommend it as a carry option, I'd stick to the 9mm. If you want something in 45 and you want it for fun, 1911. They're cool, but you're not necessarily going to carry it. Am I allowed to own a G6? As in a G6 artillery piece? Probably not. Not with the cannon attached, no. P9 for sport shooting, PO7 for EDC, even share the same internals, ease of use. Well, there you go. Geez, like King, you've got an adaptive combat rifle. Oh yeah, okay, you got into A15, but yeah, I also had a license approved in about 2.5 weeks for a pistol. It was also 2015, I think. So yeah, sometimes the CFR moves really fast, sometimes doesn't move fast at all. Do you wear trench coats like all year long? Because I could probably missed. I missed Germstream this morning, definitely. I don't know if you also missed it, Chris Marie. I presume you did. I'm terrible at watching my friends' streams, and it's bad because I actually tune into mine, and sometimes appear on mine. My day is just my mornings start terribly. I always end up on the wrong side of bed, and I'm cranky, and I forget what I need to do, and then I only catch speed here around about 9 a.m. So yeah, I'm not a good person to necessarily ask about current events because of this. Mareike, maybe one day I'll tell you guys about my revolver mishap during a competition. How about Friday, Mareike? We need to have this conversation. There's only there to make a point when you come home late. John, I've never shot a gun before, and I'm thinking of getting one. What's a decent first gun? So, Jordan, my question is, okay, let me preface it this way. The answer very much hinges on what your intended purpose is for it. So, is it for sport or is it for self-defense? I'm presuming self-defense. Secondly, what is your budget? And thirdly, what is going to be ergonomic to your lifestyle? Because I usually steer people, if it's for a defensive gun, I steer them towards Glock for reasons of it is, in my opinion, the best fighting handgun out there because of the way it's designed. It's big, chunky, grippy, ugly, reliable. It's good for that purpose. It's well supported with spare parts. Thank you for the super chat, Mareike, by the way. I'll bring that up in short. It's well supported with spare parts, magazines, accessories. It's easy to keep it running. If something breaks on that gun, you can usually have it back up and running in under a week because most dealers are so flush with spare parts. It just, but again, that's where I recommend people start. I mean, there are a great many defensive options to look at. I believe the P09 and P10C of CZ are good options as well. I'm a big fan of the Smith & Wesson products, the M&P series. I just tell people to stay away from Taurus and stay away from 5-shot revolvers unless you have really no other option, and that's the best you can get. That's a very good point. I used the 38 Special on my shooter. It was hammerless Smith & Wesson with a 20-pound trigger. I missed the target. I'll never recommend for primary carry. Now, see, this is good real world. This is from Jacob from Louisiana. Great real world advice. I love the people who comment on you, because you guys always come with the truth bombs. Supposing it ain't going. I should just wake. So you paid 35 Rand. Thank you very much, though, to tell me I should just wake up later. I probably should. Although then I will never, ever, ever start my day, Mareka. It is a nightmare. Yeah, 21 is a full size 45. I'm catching up to where people are going to hate on me for the 19X. It's pretty cool. It's obviously got the longer grip, the same slide and barrel length as a normal 19. It's a really cool handgun. I used to not see the point of them, but I kind of do now. Okay, so I do get a little bit of love for giving the 1911. Thank you, Sepi Tank. The reason for this, I was born in Bloem, and the Free State savanna grass looked like my hair, and it's genetic, and I can't do anything about it. But I try. That's why I wear caps, so I can cover it, and you guys don't have to get upset about it, and everyone's happy. I absolutely would love 1911 for the hell of it. They jam harder than Metallica. Ooh, I felt that. Jeez, like Anton. JCS, fantastic. Another legally on person. I'm sorry German's not here for you to give him shit tonight, but we shall arrange his attendance in due course. Jay, Tokarovs have the 7.62 TT cartridge going for them. A severely underrated cartridge because of the highly unsafe platform it was made for. There is an EAA version of the P226 chambered in it. One day, when I'm big, I'll own jacketed hollow point loads and 357 SIG. Yeah, this is true. The Russians made really interesting calibers, but when it came to handguns, they did design some pretty unsafe ones. Not quite sure what the design philosophies were, but In Range TV and Forgotten Weapons have got quite a couple of cool videos about exactly this. Jacob, the best thing about the Glock is their perfect magazine. The magazine is a weak part of many semi-auto pistols. And I have to admit, like, the Glocks do have a superbly reliable mag. And they're cheap to replace and to get spares for and to get new ones. So you can really, really, really abuse the ever-loving fuck out of the Glock and the magazines, and it's not going to be an issue. Funny how I'm totally competent to use the government's firearms, but totally incompetent to use the private. That is the funny thing, isn't it? That this whole recognition of prior learning nonsense doesn't seem to, what do you call it? Cross certain boundaries for reasons of bureaucracy, or shall we call it bureaucratic incompetence. The SD-wapen is hier on jou sy, precies, net so. The shotgun didn't miss. Hello, Darren. How are you doing, sir? Nice to see you here again. Yes, Glock 19 is always the answer. Well, that's at least where I always start. I try not to be that guy who always goes herder Glock. I like to try and qualify my answers because I'm not a brand fanboy. I mean, I've got 2 Heckler & Koch USPs in my safe, carry them occasionally, love them, awesome guns, but and they're not bad fighting guns, but I'm better with the Glock. I'm just more accurate and more consistent with it. I get a bit hung up on the USP because it's quite a chunky, meaty, massive handgun. But I do love it. It's awesome. It's more. I get the distinct feeling the USP is much more of an offensive handgun than a defensive one, which is probably why so many police and military, what shall we call it, departments or whatever you want to call it, carry them. Jay giving us more decent caliber advice. The SIG will have better bullet weight and multiple jacketed hollow point options. The Tokarevs will have extreme velocity and capacity going for them. They also pierce level 3 armor. This is also true. Tokarevs are armor piercing, well, the level 3 soft armor stuff, okay? Not the level 3A, the soft armor. It'll actually, because what beats Kevlar? Speed, okay? Speed beats Kevlar. And if you have a high enough muzzle velocity, you'll get through it. So, boom, there you go. You cancelled your hunting weekend because you got a spot to do your competency. Well, your priorities are at least completely in order. So, kudos to you for that. Okay, you have no idea how to get started. So, hang on. You need a competency provider, and Mr. van Rensburg in the comments is in the north, and just somebody in the comments, just give me a recommendation for who to send people to in the north again, because that's my 1 week spot. But that's where you start. Do your proficiency training. That's really where it's at. Got the 19 MOS. Okay, so you are going to put a red dot on her. Goodbye, Bradley. Really goodbye. Really like the 38 as a backup. No brassly. Well, it's a bit of a Clint Smith moment, isn't it? Ankle gun. You're in a grapple in a parking lot at 3 a.m, and that's the only thing you can deploy. And you put the barrel straight against the person and squeeze the trigger. It's gonna make a mess. And that's one thing you can at least do with a snubby. I know, hence the name. Don't worry, I don't, Chris Berry, I don't take it seriously at all. Well, at least not on my channel. I don't take anything too seriously. Desert Eagle AR-15, the AAA-12, AA-12, and G6, and you're good. You forgot to add a shulker to that. You need some anti-air artillery while you're at it. Oh, I forgot about the Beretta APX. They are sorry, like it's a brand that exists. Berettas are good. The PX4 Storm is also a really decent handgun. The only thing that would ever put me off recommending something is I need to be 100% sure that spares are going to be there for defensive guns. But I'm pretty sure Beretta is well supported in SA, but I might be wrong. You guys are fortunate to correct me. Susan, I have. It was a good idea. It was a very good idea. Yeah, let's leave it at that. Maybe. I saw the shooting in Westville. It was 2 killed, 1 wounded, and the other pip got away. Again, homeowner outnumbered 4-1. And triumphed, succeeded in beating the odds. That's the 4th defensive gun use in just over 2 weeks. And in each and every instance, the defenders were outnumbered and still won. So that just mindset. What is the thing we always say? Mindset leads training, feeds equipment, follows. Jacob, thank you very much for the $10 super chat. I really appreciate you tuning in while you're supposed to be at work. Okay, people giving good hunting advice to JCS in the comment section. What's my take on investing on a gun now rather than waiting to get a license? Yeah, you can. There's nothing that prevents you from buying or making a down payment on a firearm of your choice now. And it's a good idea for several reasons. The only thing is you can't apply for the license yet, and you can't take possession of it yet. But unless you're confident that exchange rates are going to improve and that shipping costs are going to improve and that in general availability of things are going to improve, getting a good deal on a gun right now is definitely preferable to waiting and seeing. It's a gamble, I know, but I've got a sneaky suspicion we're in for inflated firearm prices in the near future. Maybe not excessively inflated, but every couple of rand you can save on this is worth it. And Pule, you've got my number. If you've got any questions about this, give me a shout and we'll talk, because I can recommend it, but not for cynical reasons. I'm being dead serious. Antoni, goeienaand. Justin Bieber jabs harder than Metallica. I do indeed. I've got a lot of secret admirers. Yeah. Because it's okay. Look, HK themselves, and this is going to sound like I'm making excuses for them. Hang on. Let me pour myself more coffee here. Heckler & Koch as a company are actually kind of okay. Well, they're not okay. They're actually pretty good when it comes to civvies. The German government hates me, though. The German government hates everybody that Heckler & Koch traditionally exports to, which is why they opened a massive facility in the US, amongst other reasons. And if the German side of the company goes bankrupt or goes under, at least HK USA will carry on building quality Heckler & Koch products. But yeah. Colonel Wyatt, good evening. How's it? Goeienaand. Thank you. It was great, by the way. It was great being on your channel, being on your show. It was an awesome conversation. Would love to do it again. It was fantastic. I see you've got a few more famous / infamous guests. David, receive our Parada's hat today. Love it. Great quality. Thank you, David. No step on snack. I'm glad you got it, mate. And thanks for ordering, and thanks for the support. Actually, thanks to everybody who supports in any way, shape, or means. Even if you don't have money to drop on merch or super chats or whatever, every little bit of just sharing a video or mentioning the page or sharing what we write or what we do, all of that stuff helps. Well, helps Bratis, helps me, and helps, I like to believe, the fight for gun rights in this country by getting us in the public conversation and in the public sphere of debate, and to make the stuff noticed. So I can write stuff, but if you aren't there to propagate it, nothing I write or record or make reaches an audience. So thank you guys for making it happen. I really appreciate it. Totally. Who have you guys ever had to wear bulletproof with towels for 12 hours? Not for 12 hours. I've worn my plate carrier for extended periods of time, but not for 12 hours, because that would suck. Those things are bloody heavy. So the full-blown, for those of you who aren't familiar with this, a full-blown level 3 bulletproof setup, like ballistic or body armor, with the soft armor plus plate front and back, weighs close onto 10 kgs, and that's without any sort of battle jacket with magazines and equipment hanging off it. It's not fun. It's not a fun or comfortable thing to wear, especially not for extended periods of time. Hang on, I just need to put Jacob's super chat up on the screen before it disappears. Where'd it go? There we go. Boom. En dankie vir die 14 randjies, Kaal. It's like noot vir noot. Mooi 50 randjies vir jou, te danke aan Absa. Okay, cool. So Northern Burbs man, Darren, here's 2 really good options. Well, 3 really good options for you to do proficiency training: Cape Arms and Ammo, Para Arms, VPF Arms training. I'm going to leave those up for a little bit so you can just see them, and we'll take it from there. Where the heck am I? There's so many really good comments. Tarquin, Beretta 92 and clone mags are pretty reliable. Use the maligned K mags and why are they maligned though? Like, I'm not as big of a gun buff as people think I am. What's maligned about the K mags? Magnum range. I don't know who Yaku was referring to, but Adrian's good people, and Magnum is really cool. Really dig it. The 357 Sig. Henry, I'm with you on this. There is a certain about that cartridge caliber. It really is. It's awesome. Altata, did my competency with Umgobi and Batuli nogals? Is that north enough? Slightly, I think that's slightly further north than Belleville side, but if someone's up for a road trip cross border, why not? Okay, so competency training, it really does vary. And I'm going to give you Duff Gen on this, but I reckon between about 1,200 to 1,500 bucks if you're doing just the law and handgun. But if you get the big, thick one that's got everything in it, it's slightly cheaper. Not it'll be more expensive than 1,200, but it'll be cheaper per unit standard than one. Yeah, it's I'm sad about the innocent people who die. I'm a bit less sad about the bad people who get it handed to them. The story about the old man in Derbs who nailed the three perps with his Glock 20 with his 10mm auto caliber is like, oh, they made such a terrible mistake by breaking in there. They should just have stayed home. But at least one of them criminal career ended. You can never say someone's criminal career has ended prematurely. I think it was ended maybe too late, but at least he's not going to be causing harm anymore. Yes, green license, 100% fine. Whether it's the laminated card or whether it's in your ID book, you can buy ammo with it. You can, dealers will accept it to purchase ammunition. It's not a problem. Completely legal. Utterly legal. I mean, legal, not illegal. Legal. You're good to go. That's such a terrible comment. But nice one, Rosalind. It made me laugh. Okay, so Darren, I made a video on this. How do I license a firearm? I even wrote an article on it. It's on my Facebook page, pinned to the top, the Paratus Facebook page. But if you go to the website, paratus.info, and you Google how do I license a firearm, it also is at the top there where it scrolls over with the other articles. I will repost it as well, so you can find it. There's a lot of I probably will keep on covering this topic because people really want to know, and there's always something that I miss. But yeah, is there a problem with none of the FMJs? I can't find it. No, there's not really a problem. It's just a general shortage. There's a shipment that is due to land, I believe, soon, if it hasn't already, and then we'll have FMJ again, if not soon. Jeepers! Like, shot it with what, Colonel? That's I once went for a flip. So there's this dodgy company in the Cape Town waterfront. Well, I presume they're dodgy. There was a whole debate at the time, Mark, whether they were above board or not. Severe, and they had a Huey, and I purchased a low-level joyride ticket in one of these things, and that was years ago. Absolutely loved it. It's such a machine. So I'm really curious, like, who the hell was shooting at a Huey in Virginia and what they were shooting at. Okay, Lance, that sounds more or less accurate, depending upon which training provider you're using and so on and so forth. Whereabouts are you? I can't remember if you told me. You might have. Scrolling through quickly. Also, a new gunner. What do you think of the CZ75 PO7 Duty 9mm Gen 2? So, the PO7's a good pistol. Like, CZs are good handguns. The reason why I tend to steer people away from the PO7 for a defensive carry gun is not because it's unreliable or any such thing, but I've seen in lots of the defensive shooting classes where you need to do quite aggressive slide manipulation, whether it's stoppage clearing or any sort of abnormal drills where you need it. It's got a much narrower and much smaller, like, grip real estate than the Glock 19, for example. And a lot of the guys kind of get hung up. Their hands get cut by the sights, or they get hung up on the controls, which is not ideal. It's trainable. Like, don't get me wrong, you can still be highly effective defensively with a PO7. It's just Rowan is a good example of this. He had a PO7, religiously carried it. He replaced it with a Glock 19 after a couple of classes because he just said he is not devoted enough to really make it work for him, and he would rather just defer to a easier option, which was for him was the 19. But if that's what you want, and if you're going to train it and you're going to make that handgun work for you, then go for it. It's a decent, good handgun. Okay, now the comment thing jumped a bit again, and you guys were talking a lot of sense. Chris, it was a pleasure having you on the channel. Yes. Yeah, it was. I need to go watch this because I'm very, very, very curious as to what sort of discussion you guys had and how it went and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, but good for getting the man on. Like, genuinely, it was also really fun to be on the show and have a really cool discussion with you. Not on Saturday, but they're on Thursday and on Friday. And I think it's closed this Saturday, but next week I'll be back again. Yeah, I'll be okay skipping combat if that's okay with you. Jay, I wore those vests daily in 2010, 2011 with R5 and spare. Yeah, I can imagine it's yeah, it's not a fun thing to wear by any stretch of the imagination. Investigation underway. Huey was at 1,000 feet when hit. One pilot wounded, released from hospital. Jeepers. That's one hell of a story. I'm going to try and find it on the mainstream media so I can at least kind of read up on it. But that's, yeah, that unit flies support for the president. So, yeah, in Virginia, of all places. If I do recall correctly from reading Chicken Hawk by Robert Mason, awesome book, by the way, can highly recommend it. Their standard procedure in Vietnam was to climb above 3,000 feet, which would render them safe from most small arms fire. So anything under 3,000 feet in a Huey, you are vulnerable to getting hit by small arms fire, apparently. But I'll let the experts weigh in on that. Really, I haven't flown in combat. Please do. Anything I can do to help, gladly. Yeah. Your grandma has the green license and she is solid good to go. Cover you like when you're sleeping, Darren. You need to take me out for dinner for that. Sliv, good evening, sir. Good to see you here. What are my opinions of a suspiciously human-looking femur as an EDC? Well, it depends what your intent is, and are you going to, which sort of goth club are you going to? And I believe that Zeppelins in Pretoria closed. I could probably get ones with Kevlar inserts, but those will be extra. Beth, good evening, and I'm going to say my usual thing every time Beth pops in and I see this awesome logo of hers. Beth has got a really cool channel, which is this, Eleutheria. Please subscribe to it. We've had a couple of talks. I would love to talk to you about anything of your choosing again. Beth is an awesome advocate for freedoms, civil rights, and general awesome common sense. No. No. There are. I know a gun shop with a vault full of these things. Nobody wants them. They are awful. They're absolutely awful. I can't remember which one was worse, the Protector or the Striker, because both are both. I get confused between the two, but they're not lekker. Not a fan. I'd recommend almost anything else. Excellent, Adrian. Welcome. Like, it's one step closer. Yeah, I'm a huge fan. If I had money and I could buy a helicopter, I would seriously consider adding a Huey to my collection of helicopters. That and the Bell 222, the Airwolf helicopter. For those who don't know, there are a few of them in South Africa. The one at Lancero had the registration RPM, Romeo Papa Mike, which I thought was pretty cool. Sliv does, and he's good people, by the way. He is actually a legal professional, which helps. They're going to be on Friday, Beth. On Friday, they'll be up and running. They'll be up on the shop on Friday. I promise everyone once. It's really cool. So Gentle Inflatables went there as well. Okay, good. I'm not alone. Garnet Price wore level 3 body armor while traveling with Metro Rail and Cape Flats for 6 months. Jeepers, lost 6 kgs in the first month and found I couldn't run very far or fast. Yeah, it's heavy stuff. Yeah. It's not a joke. Okay, 35 Rand we have for the Paratus helicopter. We'll paint it black with the logo on the door. I just, who would like to take the position of door gunner? I'll organize a peg, also known as an M60, for you. I'm sure you can make a plan to organize that. No, it's definitely not stealthy, but there's a certain oh, I love it. Absolutely love it. Graham is still on about his femur. Okay, cool. So we are again getting people helping each other out. I never did. I flew Algeria, Sudan, DRC, Gabon, Equatorial Guinea, and a couple of other places. But I never went to Afghanistan. Fortunately, unfortunately, I suppose, because it's not necessarily fun there, but unfortunately because I think it could have been. Like a lot of my colleagues did contract work in Afghanistan, and they thoroughly enjoyed it. So sadly, not Brad, unfortunately. Do you think I'll get grief if I use my 357 Magnum Com? Depends how well you hide it, isn't it? My Boeretrus is upstairs, by the way, and it is, by the way, the video, Rion, that I made today about my EDC that I'm going to be uploading tonight, but it'll go live tomorrow morning. The Boeretrus feature's big, don't worry. Rion, by the way, I need to have a live stream with Rion. I've been promising to have a live stream with him forever about their coffee. It's really good coffee. I like to drink their coffee, and the cool thing is, everyone who buys via the Paratus link to Boeretrus we get a little bit of money for it. So that's really cool. Come watch a crazy mom talk. I can promote Liberty Ideas 15:45 every day. Except, so hang on, I need to do a proper voiceover for you, Beth. Come watch a crazy mom talk cuck and promote Liberty Ideas 15:45 every day except Saturdays. There we go. Is that better? That made me cringe. Not the reading, that my voice. Netcare run a Bell 222. Mark Jackson has a UH6. Yeah, don't tell me stuff like this. It makes me go. Shotgun door gunner. There we go. Brad's it's got the job. You bring your own guns, right? You haven't flown in combat. Yeah, you do realize you'll become Minister of our Luftwaffe. Well, perfect, right? Who needs real-world experience? As long as it's not Minister of Luftwaffles, or what was that joke? Can't remember. No. This was in the days before I was a legally armed citizen, and no, we unfortunately didn't. I was never given a gun, which kind of sucked, but yeah. Sean Lewis from New Zealand, thank you very much, sir, for bullet money. This is the first time I've gotten New Zealand dollars. Thank you for tuning in. I really appreciate it. And I'm sorry about what your Prime Minister is doing to you by sending you back into lockdown because 4 members of the same family got COVID. We can't really say anything because the ANC is so bloody stupid. So even New Zealand is less ridiculous than what we're doing. But yeah. And thank you, Jacob. Is flying an airplane a skill that you lose if you don't use? Absolutely. So what we do, what I used to do when I was still an airline pilot back in the day, literally a few months ago, when I was still an airline pilot. We used to have biannual recurrent training. So every 6 months, you'd get put in the simulator for 2 days. You'd put through a whole bunch of scenarios in order to sharpen your skills again, to get you back on a level of proficiency. And you had to renew your pilot's license every year, every 12 months. You had to go through the renewal process. So it's very much a case of maintaining proficiency, and proficiency training is a serious, serious thing. The last time I touched an airplane was on the Tuesday before lockdown. Was my last flight I ever did. That must have been about the 22nd or 23rd of March, and I haven't touched an airplane since. For me to go back into flying now, my license has in the meantime expired. I'd have to do a full-blown reactivation, a short reactivation course, as well as a primary recurrency, which would mean a whole bunch of simulator scenarios, engine failures, fires, evacuations, single engine landings and aborts and circuits and all sorts of stuff like that in the sim. So yeah, it's a pretty big deal. My favorite planes I've piloted and not flown. Okay, so I loved flying when I started. So the turboprops, I loved the King at 200, which is still one of my favorite airplanes to this day. Absolutely loved the King Air. The Cessna Caravan was such a forgiving, easy plane. Like if you can fly a Cessna 182, you can fly a Caravan. Beechcraft 1900, a lot of fun. And then I went from a Beechcraft 1900 to an MD-80, McDonnell Douglas MD-80 at one time. Loved that airplane. It just had something about it. And then from there on to the 737-800, which is also an awesome airplane. So I really loved them all. None of them particularly. Thank you, Pierre, for the beer money. Hopefully we get alcohol and tobacco bans lifted by the 15th, as the rumor mill has it. You can change the amount of a super chat by saying the bar at the bottom to the Thanks for the hint, Jake. Appreciate it. Convinces me. I'll man the pig in the chopper. Okay, Rian, I've already got Brad bringing his shotgun, and you can be on the M60. So yeah, I have, and it's a pretty cool bunch of videos I have. I like Matt from Black Rifle Coffee Company and what he does. That was not my intercom voice, no. My intercom voice is so out of practice. I didn't finish my question. Well, finish your question. I'll read the next part of it. Coffee link. Ooh, I didn't add the coffee link to this video. It's going to be on the video that plays tomorrow morning, the EDC one, but it's on all the other ones as well. In the description, the link is always in the description. Unfortunately not. There's been, it's the usual Somchem problem after the big bang that they had at their facility. They just haven't really recovered production facility. Susan, I used to work for a company that did test flights on the Hind Mi-24. Yeah, it's, and then there was one that was in the South African airshow circuit for a while, the Super Hind, that they juiced up and they gave it a very interesting airbrush job. That made it look all alien-y and intimidating. Very cool piece of equipment. Sorry, guys. I'm just they did extend the licenses, but only I think until June or something stupid. And mine expired end of June, so the extension didn't help me at all. And so it's about month and going on month and a half expired. And to be honest, I'm not going to spend my own money on renewing my own license in a simulator or in an actual airplane if I don't know when I'm going to be flying again, if ever, to be honest. The Mi-24 is a tank that was given wings and rotors. Good comment. The company used to pay. So Mango used to cover the simulator costs, and it is quite. I can't remember what the cost per hour for a full motion simulator is. I think it was about $4,000 an hour or something around there. And it is expensive. And then you have to pay the CAA an additional $500 or $600 to process your paperwork out of your own pocket. Civilized airlines used to cover that cost for you, but Mango expected you to pay the actual thing yourself. Oh, or turboprops. Well, ones that I never flew that I would have loved to fly. I would have loved to still fly an A320 for some reason. I'm not a huge Airbus fan, but I would like to just to see it. And of course, the king of the skies, queen of the skies, the 747-400. Or even the 800 for that matter. Like it is the airplane that everyone wants to fly. It is the airplane that everyone loves. It's a classic. But we're talking civilian aircraft. If we had to talk combat aircraft, I would have liked to fly any of them. Unfortunately, never quite got my dream of flying a fighter or a ground attack airplane or anything like that. But yeah, I mean, we can dream. And that's us here for an hour, guys. Colian is better. If you disagree, go argue with the wall. I thought it was the vanilla Colian Noir, Poulet. I thought it was the vanilla Colian Noir. So Shahid, awesome dude. I'm sure we may have seen each other somewhere then, like back in the day when I was still flying planes. Yeah, Zoo Boy, that's the one. Ramon, good evening. I was talking smack about you behind your back earlier on the stream. I can't remember. But thanks for tuning in. I'm basically just about to wrap things up. But video dropping tomorrow. I'm on Joe Emilio's show live stream tomorrow night, I think at 8:30. I'll put the link on the page. And Crikey Moses, Whiskey Friday, normal time, 8 p.m. on Friday. I'm just going to take the last ones quickly. I don't want to sound like an uninformed dunce, but those white licenses are expired. Can the owner sell the gun still, or must I wait till Max comes in? Unfortunately, you can't, because the whole issue with it is when the license expired, according to, I think it's section 28 or was it 29 of the act, the thing actually bloody terminates. It's a huge fuck up, to put it bluntly. So the best way to transfer it now is to do it via the amnesty process. And it's such a headache, and my emotions about it, I think you guys all know by now. Like, I'm not a big amnesty fan, and there are huge risks about it. But yeah, for Ramon, Subaru for life, and okay. And I agree with Old Tighthead. So what I'm going to do, I've had a request. Hang on, I'll do it like this. Let's see if it works. Ladies and gentlemen from the flight deck, we're about to commence our descent and commence the approach and landing procedures in Cape Town. Wind is northwesterly, light temperature about 14 degrees Celsius. It's been a pleasure having you on board tonight. Hope to see you again soon. Drive safely and have a wonderful rest of your evening. And on that horribly... shall we say, nostalgic bombshell. Thank you for the chat, guys. You've been great. See you soon on another live stream. I'll try to do more of these, even if it's during the day. And yeah, have a safe evening. Stay safe. Thank you for all the support. I really appreciate it.